Hi, this is Kimball Bullington, and this presentation is about selecting a project. Several students have expressed some confusion, and some of the presentations ideas I've seen seemed a little lacking in detail, or depth, and so I wanted to give you a little bit more insight into selecting a good project that you can learn about project management tools from. So we're going to look at a definition, project, selection guidelines, and then some examples of mine, examples that I have used or am planning to use. I usually try to modify, exemplify the tools that we're using, and usually a little bit ahead of you. So I'm going to try to model project management with a project of mine, hopefully a few days ahead of when it'll be due for you. So a reminder, a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. But in the case of this course, it's going to have to be complex enough for you to see the merit in using some of the tools. If it's not complex enough, then I'm afraid you'll get a bad impression of the utility of some landing. For you, it should be important, and if it's not important, you won't commit the money, the resources, or the effort involved, in our case, to learn something. It should be challenging. Quite often a project should be on the border of, can I really get this done? It's going to take some special effort or something. Is it achievable? Can it be done technically, economically, politically, and practically? And then timely, can I finish in a reasonable time? And some of the projects that you might want to do, you cannot finish in this time, and so that doesn't mean you just throw them away. It can mean that instead you scope them down and say, okay, I'm going to do a part of this project, and this is the sub-project within a project is what I'm going to do. And we deal with that in the charter statement to a great extent. We're blessed with about 12 weeks, more or less, to complete this project. And there are a lot of those type projects out there in your work world and in your personal life as well. So some examples might include a workshop or course or training development. A number of students have had some sort of training program development that they've been involved with. It could be the launch of a training program or development. It could be a marketing plan or some other type of plan. There is sort of a caution here. This is essentially, we're doing a plan of something and we're not actually doing it, and that can be a worthwhile project, but it's also sort of easy to cheat and not do so much in a project like that. You can be developing a new product, whether it's hardware, software, sales product, educational product, training products. So you can have a supplier selection or supplier rehabilitation. Great projects, and quite often can be done, or at least some phases of projects like that can be done in 12 weeks. Could be a capital equipment purchase. And if you are working and you have an example like that you can do, then quite often you sort of two birds in one stone, as they say. You get some work benefit as well as you get to learn something, learn a skill. Career development. Now here's one that every one of you could do. You could come up with a plan for developing your career. Now, I want to caution you here on limiting this to education or a degree, getting a degree. That's not I really don't consider that a very good career development project. It can be a subset of a career development but counting on just a degree to get you, a master's degree in supply chain management or leadership or something like that, to be the key to your career future, I think you're selling yourself short. You could do so much more than just that. But this could involve some real research into, well, what is it I would like to do, and marry that with what is it that I could be good at and could enjoy doing. Skill development, some sort of writing project, a book, a chapter in a book, a white paper, sort of research paper, or it could be some bucket list event plan. Now that's, again, I want to caution you on this one, because quite often you could have a project like this, and if it's not detailed enough, if it's not complex enough, you won't learn very much. And I say that from experience, because I have seen so many students that went down this path. I've seen some really good projects here, but I've seen more weak projects. And in the end, what they do is they say, well, this tool's no good, and this tool's no good, and this tool's no good. And the truth is, the tool is perfectly fine. They just didn't have a project that was complex enough for them to understand the value of the tool. So shame on me for letting them go forward. So back in, I believe it was 2020, I had this list, or something like this list. Write an article for publication. That's part of what I do. Those are projects for me. Develop Management 6760 certification. This was a yellow belt certification, which we did accomplish. Learn to play the guitar. I actually used this in a different term. Write a book. I actually did not do this, but I thought at the time this is what I was going to do. And plan my Across America bicycle tour. And one semester, I don't know if it was fall 2020, that's a project that I did. So I've used this project and this project as examples in class before. So in spring 2022, this term, here's my list that I'm looking at. And I'm not looking at two. I'm looking at, here's 5 different ideas I have for this spring. One is write this article, 600 CEDs, cause and effect diagrams. It's started. It's way beyond started. Essentially, the research is done. I need to write. I'm very tempted by this one. Develop Management 6730 course description, change proposal. And I need to do that in cooperation with another professor. Learn to play the guitar and take it to a different level than I did before. Write a book. I have this book that I have various titles for it. The one I'm using right now is Babylon U. It looks at college success using the book of Daniel as a model. And then this is the one that I've decided I really need. This is most urgent, and it's Plan MTSU Career and Strategy. So at the end of June, I'll finish up my summer teaching, and that will be the end of my career at MTSU, as it looks like right now. And I will move on and do something different. Now, I'd like to leave the supply chain management program in as good a shape as I possibly can before I leave, and that's turning into a complex project. So I want to do the most good that I can and be as helpful as I can before I turn in my keys and say goodbye to everybody. So this, to me, is the most urgent, and it actually could accommodate perhaps some of these other activities as well. So that's an idea. Now that's my career strategy in the near term, but surely some of you are struggling. If you really planned, okay, here's my next step, or maybe here's my career path, and you may be confused. I don't know what that is. Well, like I said before, sometimes you don't know how you're going to complete a particular project, and that doesn't mean it's not worthwhile in doing. A number of you could really benefit from planning how you're going to manage your career. Don't count on your HR folks or your manager doing that. They've got other other priorities. They may want to help you, but nobody cares about your career as much as you should care about your career. So I want to suggest, if you're struggling on selecting one, consider some sort of career success planning project. And I would love to give you help. I can give you advice on some research, some books to read, and so on. So hopefully that was helpful. I've not left you without some ideas, at least, for a project that you can hopefully gain some real benefits yourself, while at the same time learning about project management. Thanks.